Well, welcome in, guys. Live. We are live. Check. If you guys are joining, voice in the comments. I love when you guys jump in and interact with us. But welcome into another live Sunday comic show-off show. And I'm excited about today because I got some of my favorite people in the world joining me tonight to talk comic books. But let's do some business while you guys are jumping on. Please smash that button, like, subscribe, comment, and of course, at the end, what was your favorite pickup? You can either do it live or go back and leave it in the comments for me. And if you want, check me out on Instagram. Go over there, give me a follow, like some of the posts I'm doing, and drop me a line at sidequest@gmail.com. And yeah, let's jump into it, guys. We got some comments. Let's see who's joining us. We got Thing Comics is here. Hello. I don't know if I should say good morning, good late night to you. Mon is chiming in the back green room there. Evening. And then we got also another one of my guests chiming in. So let's get them in since they're already talking in the private chat there. And I'm going to start with the guy that first said yes to me, and I'm going to jump with Justin. What's up, Justin? Say hello to everybody.
Yo!
There we go. Some noise that works.
Yeah, right? Hey, this little thing has carried me a long way, man.
You know what? I didn't get to, and I was going to get this, but I got the patented.
There you go.
I'm old school there. Some analog.
Love it. Can't go wrong with that.
But let's get some of my other guests in here. So, and then we'll get into chit-chatting with everybody. So the next guy that I had say yes was Bruce from Up North Comics. What's up, Bruce? Look at that. See, he's got the fancy effects with his phone, man. And I can't do it. I could barely get the computer to work tonight. So
I don't even know how it happens for you.
Technology, right?
Mutant powers.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That might be
I know you, Bruce. I know
for
you.
another show. And then last but not least, my favorite person in the world that inspired me, made me come on and do this crazy thing, Brandon from Mon Comics. Dude,
I'm humbled to be on your channel.
What's up? I'm happy that you guys said yes, you'd come on. This is something I've been trying to get working. I had some bad luck today, as you guys heard from me. I think literally 10 minutes before we got on, I was like pulling the hair out. But we're here. We made it. I'm excited to talk comics with you guys.
Absolutely.
And I want to jump right into getting to know you guys. I mean, I know you guys. All you guys inspired me to keep doing this. And I think when I started, I think Brandon, I found Mike and you first. And I watched a bunch of other shows that were doing spec type stuff. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm too old for that junk. I just want to get the books, read them. I don't care if they're falling apart. And Mike showed me that it's fun to dig. Brandon, you showed me it's fun to find what you want, not what everybody else is doing. And he inspired me to do this. Justin, I found you guys next, you and John, doing the reviews for Omni.
Yes.
And Bruce, I got to know you kind of through Brandon, but through Council of X.
Yes.
And you're fairly new, and you got all that energy in the comic collecting biz, and I love it. So let's start with you, Justin. What, real quick, is your origin story into comics?
Oh, man. I mean, to keep it, really short. I mean, I got into comics about 6 years ago.
Yeah, fairly recent.
So yeah, I mean, I consider myself a newbie for sure. I mean, there's tons of stuff I'm just reading for the first time or haven't read yet, or, I mean, X-Men, people look at me as like the X-Men guy. And I love X-Men and they are my favorite, but I've only been reading X-Men for 4 years since the pandemic.
Okay.
That's where I was with it. I wasn't even into the animations or anything like that, even really prior. Some of the, the movies, sure. But so yeah, fairly new to it. But just kind of went to an LCS one day, picked up some comic books.
It was all over, right?
New books. And I read one. I remember it was a Jerry Duggan comic, and the ending was a huge cliffhanger And I didn't like that because I'm like, well, what happens? And I went back to the LCS like the next day. I was like, hey, do you have like the next issue? He's like, next month. I'm like, month? I had no idea that ended and like you had to stay tuned or whatever. Like that was like a big thing. So I had these comics. I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? So I just started taking pictures of them, posted them on Instagram.
Okay.
And I found the community, and that was like how it all kind of kicked off. So yeah.
Now I'm gonna jump into characters. Who is your favorite character? I know you're an X-Men guy, but what is your favorite, I think, character overall? I think I know what it is. I'm kind of testing myself for a little bit later, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. I mean, this definitely is kind of changing amongst the mutants, I'd say overall.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Storm because just from my experience of everything, and the different changes she's gone through and the way she's developed as a leader. Again, just from the Claremont stuff that I've read so far, I love her character. So
definitely one of those deep characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, Bruce. On to you now. So origin story, and then I think I know what your favorite characters are too. So let me see. Let me hear an origin story because you're fairly new too.
Yes, I am fairly new. Not to collecting though. I've been around comics and toys, vintage toys, since I was young, very young. My father was a big toy collector, comic collector. He still is. And me, I got into toys probably around 2016, 2017. That's where I met Brandon from Mon Comics. We were slinging some Star Wars together.
All right.
And then he was like, hey, man, you know, years later down the road, like 2021, he was like, hey, man, you should get into comics. And I was like, you know, I think I'm going to do that.
Pusher man.
So I started picking up
comics
and just getting serious into it this year, actually.
Okay. Now, I think I know what your favorite character is, but I want to hear you say it.
It's Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, you go pretty hard with the Amazing Spider-Man and stuff.
Can't get away.
You've gotten some big stuff this year. And I'm just like, I don't even have that.
Yeah. And then Wolverine, of course, would be next. I unfortunately had to sell my my Hulk
181.
Yeah, my 181. But hey, I could always get it in the future. Not a big deal. But
yeah, that's a nice thing about a lot of these books is that
there are a lot of that book.
There's a lot of them out there. You know, and that's a struggle that I have, especially going to the big cons. Like I just had the big fan expo and I saw books that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that book. But it's that patience game, you know, of finding something that's the condition you want and the price. It's one of those, sometimes it's okay to walk away. There's other ones out there.
It would have been very hard for me financially to afford that and go to the con.
Yeah, you got to be responsible with your hobbies, right?
Yeah. So
definitely. Okay, my man, Brandon, Mon Comics, origin story. Let me hear it.
God, I used to collect comics back in like 2009 through 2011, and I had some good books. I had like an Avengers 1. I had Tomb of Dracula 10. I had a bunch of early Spider-Man. I was into Spider-Man, like issue 5, 7. Like I had a bunch of big books. And then I met my future wife and, decided that I could hopefully get the comics back someday. So I used them for an engagement ring. Best thing I ever did.
Okay.
And then fast forward to like, I've always played Magic the Gathering since like the 90s. And I know that Dustin played this past weekend.
Yeah, both of you guys, if we ever meet in person, I'm bringing a deck.
I'll play with
Bruce too.
Bruce too? Oh man. You could just do Commander.
Yeah.
But like I loved Commander, but a few years ago I got sick of Hasbro's greed. The big thing was those the 30th anniversary repacks. Not even proxies, but I think they're just testing the waters with the reserve list to see what they could get away with.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of like dual lands and big cards. I probably had like 7,000 or 8,000 in cards. So I just said, screw Hasbro. I'm going to go back to comics. And I liquidated my collection. And most of what I have now was from that. So happy to be back into comics where,
hell yeah.
even if something, if my Savage Tales 1 gets reprinted, it's not going to affect the value of the first one. There's only so many of them out there.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And so that's nice long term.
If you ever want to borrow a deck, I have a bunch. So
when you said you were playing at Terrificon, I was like, man, I missed the game. It's scratched that problem solving itch.
As long as you don't miss the days where you get so frustrated that you table flip or you table swipe.
Oh crap, guys!
It's like the Monopoly.
I'm with Brandon though. It's spending the money on that, man. It's such a money pit.
Constant money sink.
Yeah.
Even if you're not buying new stuff, you want to buy modern decks like you were playing, Justin.
Dude, I've started and stopped like 3 or 4 different times with this game. I mean, once was original back in the day in the 90s when it came out. Everybody was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of the chase. I got married, all that stuff. So I quit. Came back again when my son was born because it's something to do together. Let's play a card game. Well, that's where the table flipping, swiping, because I was deck building. He was just throwing cards together and thinking he'd win. And then Mary was like, didn't you play Magic before? I'm like, oh my God, you don't want to go down there, do you? She's like, yeah, let's try it. So I'm like, so we started doing same thing. She was buying like the pre-constructed decks. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and there's this combo,
you start
and then I
scheming,
would just obliterate, and she would get so mad at me. She's like, I barely got anything out. Like, I'm an aggro player, so
you like to
what happens.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's a dangerous rabbit hole to go down to, but it can be fun
for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brandon, we didn't hear favorite character. I think everybody in the world knows this one.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big Ted fan. Man Thing's my favorite, but just a monster guy and his whole backstory and what he's important for. But I love Daredevil. I love Fantastic Four. As far as street level heroes, Daredevil's my boy. I always thought it was really cool how it was someone with a handicap. Peter Parker got bit by a radioactive spider. That was, but like this is just a normal. It must have been so great for disabled people back in the day to have a superhero that represented them. So and still does. So I think that was always cool.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, let me check in the chat because we do have. Let's see, we got like 10 people watching us. Nice. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. And Thing Comics is already chiming in. I know he was kind of fearing watching because he always finds stuff. He said he also played at the end of the 90s. Wallet couldn't handle it. Yes. Yeah. That was the big thing. You're always doing that chase, being the blind boosters. You don't know what you're getting.
A little bit of gambling addiction coming out too.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, hobbies are that way in general. They're going to be money pits, but it's how deep are you going into it? And like one of the things I like about this hobby that we're all doing right now is it can be very individual if you want. You read what you want, you get into the characters you want, but then you also have that community aspect of like we've all found our community where we have similar interests. We all like the X-Men, or we all like kind of the darker heroes. And then the fact that a lot of times it's like somebody has never heard of a comic, so they hear about it from somebody else, and it's like, oh, I need to go find that one. Yeah. So that's kind of the neat thing about this hobby.
Totally.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I tested you guys because I kind of threw up some little notepads, and what we are going to do is, here you go, Brandon.
Nice.
Is we are going to play a game. Now, this is something I thought of I think I thought of this before I actually started filming and everything. And if I had a nice bumper that I spent half the day working on and couldn't get it working, you see flashy things and it says icons, and you hear my wife do a cool voiceover that's echoey, but maybe next time. But this is a game I'm going to call Icons, where I wrote down a lot of characters from comics, Marvel, DC. I got some independents in here that I am going to throw in a bucket, and we're going to randomly pick out 2 of them and talk about them. We're going to talk about what we know, just general talk, first appearances, what we think of this character, stuff like that. So let me finish doing this. While I'm doing this, let me ask, have you guys been to any shows other than Terrificon? All you guys were at Terrificon, and I envy all you guys.
That show counts as 3 in 1 right there.
Yeah. Oh my God, wearing his shirt. So Any
still
other
trying to get over it.
little
Yeah, I'm still on the
garage
high.
sales or-
Still on the high.
lately?
I dabble in like I haven't really gone to just LCS stuff, but I I'll jump into like some live Instagram stuff, claim sales, things like that, but not physical, not like how you were just at the one earlier today.
I had to kind of more or less quit Whatnot because it was getting bad.
It's
so easy to do that little slider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gotten me quite a few times.
Yep. Try to stay away from Whatnot nowadays.
Yeah, I've been shopping on Facebook recently. Just picking up some stuff.
That's good. There's some good groups.
Yeah, Instagram live claim sales though are just great.
Yeah, IG's what I miss that. Most people left because they went over to Whatnot, and only a few people like that, or at least the ones that I follow that I trust and know, are left on Instagram. But dude, I miss the days of. I mean, especially during the pandemic. I don't know if I'm sure you guys were just like coasting there too. Like,
so this guy right here, one of these days I'm going to kick him.
Cheddar,
Chris at Cheddar.
Yeah.
I told him a week ago. I said, okay. You saw me at Fan Expo and I went a little goofy. I said, I got to slow down. I got to relax. And what's he do? He throws up books that I'm like, I couldn't resist. So,
what a guy. What a friend. That's a true friend right there.
All right. So let me get my bucket. We are going to use the patented bucket head.
Nice.
To draw out of.
Oh, I need to get myself one of those.
Yeah, right.
Do they make a Lego version of that, Eric?
I don't know. I think I've seen one, but I think it was fan made.
Those are cool. The fan made, the custom stuff.
Oh boy, that doesn't look like it fills it up as much as I thought it would. But all right, so basically, I put a bunch of guys in here that are based on you guys. You know what? I wrote them down. I'll read them off real quick. So, part of me asking favorites is to actually kind of support what I thought. And the picks I put in here. So we got Storm, Flash, Daredevil, Captain America, Spidey, Batman, Mando, Fin Fang Foom, Man-Thing, Predator, Doom, Wolvie, Magneto, Ghost Rider, and Supergirl. So that's what I had. And there might be some other ones in there that keep secret. And I might do is just recycle some of these if we don't pick them. So okay.
And wait, when you pull, we're just talking about them. Is that what
we're gonna just randomly talk about these guys? I did do some cheater notes behind these for their first appearances. I want to see if you guys know what they are.
Nice.
All right, so buckets. You should. I mean, these are characters that you guys are into.
Right.
All right, so
embarrassing. We didn't.
I was gonna say there's definitely some names you mentioned that I'm like, yep, don't know much about that one.
Supergirl, I don't know where her first appearance is, but
all right. So, I'm hitting my bell. First one we got is one of Bruce's I put in here, Batman. Bruce, you've been getting into Batman, Dark Knight specifically.
Yep.
So let's talk about Batman and what do we know? So anybody know what his first appearance is?
Tech 27.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Good job. 1939. That's a long time ago. That's even older than me.
And that's a very expensive book.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's some of the older collectors that are out there that probably got it, right? But man, oh man.
Don't see them often.
That's like a house right there, right?
Oh,
there was one that was found at a garage sale, right? Somebody did a video of that recently.
I think that was Batman 1. Wasn't it Batman 1 or was it Attack?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
but it could have been Batman 1. I mean, we're still on.
That's amazing though to find
it
at a yard sale.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But it could be Batman 1. But either way, yeah, that's nuts. I mean, just to randomly stumble into that.
Yeah. I gotta start going to more yard sales.
Yeah, I do love my Batman though. Cape Crusader just came out on Amazon Prime. I gave it a try, and it's kind of hard to get into.
Is it not enough of like the old animated show, or?
I mean, it's very comparable. That's what I've heard, but it wasn't like. I'm still like on that high of X-Men '97. Like that just blew my hair back, man.
Heck yeah.
And to try to find a show that I'm like gonna put on that level, it's not gonna happen.
It was a Tech 27 they found. You're right.
Okay.
You looked it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
So Bruce, since you're the Batman guy, what is it that you like about Batman? A lot of people might say what you're going to say, so I want to see what you say.
For me, it's just nostalgia. I've always really liked Batman as a kid. Growing up, loved Batman. You know, he's just some dark and mysterious. He's from Gotham. You know, one of his villains is the Joker, which is also another one of my favorite villains. So I just really like the stories. Really like the Dark Knight. I'm liking that a lot.
The Dark Knight's very gritty and very realistic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Killing Joke. I read that one. That one was really gritty too.
Okay.
Really good. Really good. Just anxious to learn more about it. I mean, if I had to pick a character that I would go down the rabbit hole of starting to collect Golden Age, it would probably be Batman. Would be up there. It'd be very expensive, so that's why it's like, you know, like
the wallet would be dead instantly.
To have some Golden Age Batman books in my collection, man, that'd be killer.
Okay. So now, I think one of the things that a lot of people say about Batman is that they like him because he's playing in a world of superheroes and villains, and he has no powers. He is a normal human.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can call his intelligence his power because he is the greatest detective, but I think that is the biggest draw to him is that he's this broken character that a lot of people can relate to. And what does he do? He's taking the law into his own hands because they can't handle what's out there. Right. And he's getting the job done. And he doesn't have those special abilities to help him other than his brain. And I think that's a really cool, relatable thing about him. Yeah, there's many people that also say that he's just one little sliver away from the guys that he's fighting because he's kind of a nutcase himself.
Oh yeah.
But it's what side of the walkway that is he falling on? He's actually fighting for us. You know, he's stopping that chaos basically, even though he is chaos himself, is being used in a good way. So
Yep. Troy saying billionaire is a power. I think so. I was gonna say that's definitely
you ain't got no Batcave and toys without that money.
yes, that helps for sure.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, and he was the superhero when you're a kid that if you worked, I mean, you had to be rich, like, right, because of all the stuff, like Troy said, but anyone could be him. There was no, there was nothing granted to him, you know. Yeah. It's all martial arts, fighting,
he made himself into a weapon, more
learned knowledge, like you said, he's
training, all that stuff.
Yes, greatest detective for sure. But I mean, you work hard enough and become smart enough, like, so I think that was a big draw too,
Big time.
Okay, so we kind of covered Batman, I think, pretty good. So let's go on to our next one. And Bruce, you were the big winner tonight because this was one I put in for the bucket for you. Because a lot of your videos, you start with a certain bucket on your head.
Yeah.
And the next one is Mando.
Yeah.
So Star Wars Mandalorian. Now, this was a weird one when I was trying to look up first appearance because this isn't a straight comic character. So he's a little bit different. So this can go both ways. First appearance, Chapter 1, 2019, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian, the Disney Plus TV series. Phenomenal, by the way. But you can split it with, and I got it behind me. I'm going to go grab it. Oh, this was a big buy for me not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's something I always wanted, and now I found kind of it's lower grade, but I'm okay with that. It's in the collection. But Star Wars number 68 is the first time they mentioned the Mandalorians.
Yes.
So when I was looking this up, he gets credit as this one too because it's the first time that they say Mandalorians.
That term, yeah. Nice newsy you got there too, Eric.
Yeah, how about that one? I was like, "Ooh, look at that!" it needs a clean and a press, but that's okay.
Looks good from my house.
Yeah.
From what is it they say? The 2 feet.
That's right.
Yeah, that looks good for that far.
Yeah.
Looks great.
So let's talk about Mandalorian. A lot of people might not be familiar with him because he does have a comic series, but the comic series that Marvel's putting out is basically an adaptation of the TV show, the Disney show that was it 3 seasons I think they had come out. First season was good. Second season was good.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Bruce, there we go. See, I knew I picked the right character.
This isn't Bruce. This is the Mandalorian.
Mando.
Mandalorian.
It's a great bucket.
We're clipping this later.
Man. Now, if I would have given it a little more thought, I would have gone downstairs and brought up my Boba helmet that I have, but then we could have, we could have been the whole thing. All right, so Mandalorian, what do we think of him? What do you guys think about him? I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan too. I grew up with the original series, from 77 and then, Empire and Jedi, and then I had to wait like almost 15 years before I got any more. But what do you guys think of Mando? Is he a cool character? I mean, next to, say, Darth Vader, cool character. I actually debated about putting Darth Vader in this bucket. Chewbacca, Luke. How does he rate with other Star Wars characters?
Anybody want to chime in?
I think he's the best thing Star Wars has done with their IP since the originals.
Oh yeah!
Wow, that's
With the
some
stories-
bold statement.
With the stories, the characters. I mean, think about like what they put out. Okay, there's the prequels, and they are for a whole different generation to enjoy. And I could even go back and enjoy some stuff. Jedi was the first movie I saw in theaters. I have a Wampa tattooed on my hand. I have all those bounty hunters tattooed on my leg. My whole leg is sleeved up with them. Like, I am a huge fan too. Bruce knows.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but then out came Force Awakens and Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and they just lacked the storytelling, good character development. So when Mandalorian hit the scene and gave us something fresh and just was good storytelling and like a spaghetti western, and then started to fully integrate characters we knew.
Yeah,
I was like, this is all we wanted, I mean, that was the series that brought Luke Skywalker back and made him a badass for like 2 minutes, and we're like, well, thanks, that's all we freaking wanted. I didn't want him to die from being tired on a mountain somewhere. Thank you. Some guy got it. Someone got it. So that's how I feel.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
I agree with Brandon. I mean, the show is just it was a fresh start for Star Wars. It was very marketable because they had the Baby Yoda thing. Everybody was obsessed with that for a little while.
Yeah.
The cute little cuddly character. My wife liked to watch it because she liked Baby Yoda. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now we have this show we can watch together. And it was I thought it was very well put together. Great storytelling. There's either people that don't like it or people that do. And I've always been a fan of the show, and every time they come out with a new series, I always watch it. So,
okay, Justin, you got anything to say about Mando?
Man, I have to admit, I'm not the level of Star Wars fan as
are you a Trekkie?
the three of you are. I do like Star Trek too, but no, I like the movies. I've always liked the Star Wars movies, but I watched the first Mandalorian season. I really enjoyed it. I just never watched any more of it. I think I just got too Star Wars out when there's like so many different series going on, and of course the Marvel stuff, like trying to keep up with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, like I mean, I don't have any comic books to Star Wars or anything like that. I love the movies. I loved even the newer ones. Like just to go for the entertainment, just went and saw them in theater and just loved the fans that were there. Like that whole experience, being able to do that. Like I wish I was alive when the originals were coming out. Like that's how I respect it and think it's cool in that regard. But the shows, I don't know, they just don't quite do it for me, or it's more like I think I'm just prioritizing other things or other shows, things like that. So
yeah,
not that I didn't not like Mandalorian. I thought the first season was really good, especially Brandon, you mentioned the end of it, Luke Skywalker and all that stuff was really cool. I just like once the next one came out, I don't know, it wasn't there for me. So
fair enough.
Yeah, as an older guy, I found it funny that a lot of the the old school fans were, curmudgeon and griping and, there's new stuff and hey, my Star Wars and da. But you know what, like you said, Justin, you go to it and you got to keep in mind, you're going for the entertainment, right? You want to be entertained in this, it's a fantasy world. guys. That
Make me laugh, make me
it's
cry.
not.
Yeah.
We're not solving any problems in the world
Right.
with the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that it is very personal to individuals. Like there's a lot of people that love the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
I've watched them, but I'm okay with them. Whereas my wife, she loves them. She absolutely loves that fantasy world, and all the different races and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it's okay, but it's not my thing.
Right.
I
You don't hate it, but you don't love it.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to like the dark stuff. Now, if there's a new zombie series on Netflix, I'm watching it.
I knew up. Yeah.
I'm all about that stuff. And so yeah, it's a personal taste thing. So you can't get all up in arms about somebody liking the prequels.
Right.
They weren't around for those other ones, so they didn't get to experience them firsthand. So this is a different generation, and like the new stuff that's coming out now, that's for a new generation. Yeah. So you take it for that little bit of entertainment, and I think you're still going to enjoy it. So
totally.
Eric, later on when you're bored, go on Instagram and look up Lost Souls Movement. They're a band, and they made some hilarious recent metalcore songs about Star Wars. And it's
you know what? I think I know the band you're talking about, because there was a time I got into, what did they call it? They called it like nerd rock or something like that.
Right.
Where there's these bands that their themes were sent. Like there's one right now that if you go online, you can find them. It's what are they called? They are a Black Sabbath kind of tribute band, but they spoof Ronald McDonald.
Yes.
The characters.
That's funny.
It's a riot to watch.
They're great.
Videos.
They're great.
Yeah. So I'll have to dive into that a little bit.
Definitely do.
All right. So what we're gonna do now, the whole point of picking these characters and talking about them is, we're gonna do a Sunday showdown with these characters. So we're gonna go. Let me see if I can get it to work. One more time. They are going to fight. So we're going to talk about who is going to win in a battle of these super beings. Now, the whole point of this was I was going to do Marvel and DC, Batman versus Wolverine or something weird like that. But today's picks, we do have a Batman, but we got Batman versus Mando. So you guys, who is going to win in this fight? I mean, technically they are both human, but they got all the toys. They got the tricks.
This is a good matchup. Did you pull these? Like, did you only put Mando and Batman in there because it was like
I'm actually kind of surprised it worked out this way, because I read the ones that you guys thought. I thought we were going to get some superpowered, man thing versus somebody, and he would just do his, his burning on him and it'd be all done. But no, we got Batman with his batarangs and shark spray versus Mando and all his little gadgets, his spear and the dark saber. All that stuff. What do you guys think? I mean, this is a good matchup.
This was a good game, first of all. This was a good icebreaker game with pulling the heroes out and having a talk about them. I really like how that conversation starter. Yeah. And this is even harder. This is a hard question.
You kind of want to vote for the ones you like, right? Like Bruce, I know you're like, this is tough for you because you like both of these characters. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm thinking that Batman and Mando are both very intellectual characters, so that would be a really good battle, just because they're both very smart and crafty in the way that they take down their villains, their foes. You watching Mandalorian, he's doing all these crazy things to get out of these situations, and Batman does similar stuff. So I don't know. I almost want to say it's a tie.
A tie? What they push each other and then they get coffee?
I don't know. I can't pick one. I can't. I really don't.
I was gonna say Mando. They're both tech, right? But Mando has that tech edge from where from the universe. All
Batman's got the old school.
But Batman also took out, when Batman fought Predator, he took out a Predator. in a 3-issue limited series. And Predator had all the tech in the world.
Brandon, it's funny that you say that because I had a third one that was stuck and I just happened to pull it off and then I looked to see what it was. We almost had
the Predator. Oh, man.
That would have been easy because I said, well, Batman beat him.
Brandon's like, I already read that one.
I saw him, yeah. Yeah, great. I mean, Troy has a good point in the comments. Batman wins simply because he can cast aside anything to win. We're talking about someone who made Darkseid back down. Yeah, Darkseid. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm leaning Batman. I was going to say I would be that guy to say, well, what's the environment or what's the setting and how long do they have to prepare? Because I know Batman is pretty much virtually unbeatable.
Chime the Clint Eastwood, showdown in the desert.
Right. They're just running at each other in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In upstate New York.
I'm like, are they battling in space or I don't know.
Can Batman's armor stop Mando's blast?
Right.
His laser pistols.
Yeah. I think both of them have ways to distract each other. I mean, Batman could knock Mando's helmet off and he's all concerned with the way he'd be scrambling to get his helmet back on, but then Mando can just show Batman some pictures of his parents and torment him and regress to childhood. Was that a little dark? I think
brutal. I don't think Mando would go that dark.
Yeah, maybe I go Batman because Mando has a code. Mando has a code of the Mandalorian. Batman doesn't have a code.
He doesn't, right?
No, Batman's kind of like, let's get the job done any way we can. He's in a way, I see Batman as he's kind of that street level vigilante that they're gonna do what it takes to get the job done. Whatever the sacrifices are, because he sees the bigger picture type of thing. Whereas, like you said, Brandon, Mando has a code. He's going to get to that point and he's going to have to make that decision. Do I cross that code and, go over the line, or am I going to stay true to what my teachings are and stuff like that? So
that was a good point. Yep. I like that.
Yeah. I think so. Batman, you swayed me. I think Batman might be the one for me. Justin, you said Batman, right?
Yep.
Okay. Bruce?
I'm going to go with Batman just because the old dog always wins. I love the old school guys. I got a lot of experience. Guys. Yeah, just all that experience. I mean, he has years and years since 1939? No?
That's right.
All right.
Mando's just a baby,
We have a winner. I'm going to call it Batman is going to take this one in the first ever Sunday Showdown. I'm glad you guys like this game. I thought of this a while ago, and I've been trying to figure out a way I can bring it onto the channel. And I came to the thing that I need a panel so we can just bounce ideas off each other and have some fun. So this was a good one.
Game. Yeah, man. I want to come back and play again. This is
cool.
Great.
Yes. Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
All right. So part of my Sunday show-off show is showing books off. So let's move on to showing books. What we do is this is a way to show off stuff that we've gotten in the last month. This is a show that I'm going to do at the end of the month and show off books that we got within that month. A lot of times it's just an excuse for me to show off stuff I haven't featured in videos and shown off, or sometimes they're just really cool books I want to show off again. And what I wanted to do is, I know, Justin, you're a Wednesday warrior like I am, so you do get modern stuff.
Yep.
Brandon, you've been starting to get some modern books, so I was worried a little bit about you. Bruce, do you get new books, or are you still no? Okay. But no. You know what? I break the rules all the time. So if you got cool stuff to show, let's just show off cool stuff. Yeah. Who wants to start first with what we do is, like, when I do it, I do a pick each week for Wednesday, and then I'll have a top pick that I'm super excited about that I got. So I kind of have new stuff, and I do have old stuff. So who wants to start?
I mean, I'll go first.
Go get it, Justin.
All right, you go, Justin. So
we'll do clockwise.
Yeah, let's go clockwise.
So I'm gonna show then, like, I have like 5 new books that I got from New Comic Book Day, basically.
Yeah, and then if one
I have old stuff after, but
okay,
yeah.
if one of them is like your number one pick for the month.
Yeah,
okay.
Perfect. So I'll save that one for last of the 5.
Okay.
So just a couple books that I'm like currently reading, and again, this is technically Yeah, like through all of August. Let me see. I got. I had to trim this down actually, because I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, tell me about it. I think I trimmed mine down 3 times.
Oh, I have like a 6. I have like an honorable mentions. This is not.
That's fine. I have some honorable mentions
All right,
too.
my one. I don't want to go too long. My one honorable mention is this book right here, Ain't No Graves. If you guys are not reading it or haven't checked it out, this is issue number 4 that just came out. It's Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, who they've done a few projects together now at this point. I love every single one that they do. So again, this is just like an honorable mention, but this particular issue had 2 words in it, literally 2 words. The entire thing is silent otherwise, and it is really, really impressive. A really cool story and concepts overall. So that's my honorable mention. The books that I'm like really into this week otherwise are, I'm going to bring this one up first. Nightwing. This is issue number 117. This is Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo. If you guys have never read, I've never read Nightwing. I was never into Nightwing at all. Didn't know anything about him other than just like his relationship with Batman. And I wasn't even reading a lot of DC in the last like 2 years. And when Tom Taylor took over, I decided to give this a shot. It was issue number 78, and it literally changed the way I view comics. And I became this diehard Nightwing fan, and on top of that, and Tom Taylor fan and Redondo fan. I also have never cried to a comic book before until I read number 78. So if you guys have never read this, and especially if you're a father or if you have a father, obviously, then this is a very relatable. That book is a very relatable book, and this whole series is really, really fantastic. So they're coming to an end here. This is the second to last issue for those 2 creators working together on this series. So I wanted to highlight that. I'm actually like 2 issues behind, so I do need to catch up. But man, like 78 on like, and I'm meeting them. I'm going to New York City Comic Con. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that.
I will interject that the only Nightwing I've read was the one, I think it was 99, where it was the controversial story where he gets sexually assaulted.
I've been wanting to get that one.
Blew my mind. Los from Los's Comic Journey AOK'd it to me. Yeah, and I'd like to read more. So the fact that you said that was father related too.
Heavy.
That's what was the name of that again too?
Nightwing 78 is the where they take off, or where they start from those creators. So
start
Tom
the list,
Taylor.
Brandon. Start the list.
I would genuinely go back, read that. I had my wife read it, and between the 2 of us, so one thing my wife and I do every once in a while, we'll read, especially if there's one I really like. She's not big into comics, but she'll give it a go. But we'll read it out loud. We'll take I'll read a page or 2. She'll read a page or 2, just to like get ourselves to do it together. And that was a book that we literally could not read aloud, in either of us, without crying, without tearing up. So that's where maybe you'll be able to read it quietly to yourself. But if you're reading it to your kids or to your wife or whatever, it's hard. It's really hard. That one issue 78 specifically. Right. So yeah, dude, let me know if you read that, dude. You gotta let me know.
I'm on it, Justin.
What does it start at? Number
78. 78.
It starts at 78.
Yep. Okay. And I recommend going there. Don't even read the current stuff. Go back to 78.
Okay.
All right. Next book is I'm no order really until the last one, but Nick's issue number 2, or NYX. This book right here is just the new beginnings of the new X-Men since Krakoa has ended, the Krakoa era. It's still kind of like hints to that era, so it's like stuff that has happened, and now they're just like in the aftermath of it. So but yeah, ultimately these are new stories, and so I'm looking forward to it. And this was a great issue. We get a new mutant in this one named Local, who can like control or manipulate the electronics around him in the city. So like they're racing somewhere, and he like makes every light green, and when they get on a train, like he is able to like get on the train perfectly, and like the timing is like perfect and everything. It's really cool concept. The next one
start at number 1.
That yes, this is issue 2, but yes, issue number 1 just came out the month prior. This is Wolverine Revenge, issue number 1. This just came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. They've been doing the new red band. If you guys see it in stores, it's
Are you getting the red band, Justin?
I am, yeah. So at least for this, and I did for some of the Blood Hunt stuff that I was reading, not all of it is worth it, I would say. Not that it's, I don't know, it might be $1 more. So there are some I'd say is worth it. I think this one is worth it. I think to me, I was like, okay, it's Wolverine. I'm definitely going to get the red band version, because I'm sure the character or the creators kind of went off and tried to do their own, had some fun with it. So definitely a lot of blood and violence, and and Wolverine just doing what he does best. So definitely recommend that. And it's Greg Capullo. So if you guys are fans of him, know his Batman work, then dude, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there.
Awesome.
Greg
Ready, man.
Capullo is from a place 2 hours away from me in upstate New York called Schenectady, New York. And I saw him at Terrificon. I was like, Capullo, upstate represents Schenectady.
Yes, did you say it?
And he goes, I know you're from upstate because you know how to pronounce it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Everyone started saying.
I was like, man,
that's great.
He's great.
All right, last two here. So I just read this over the weekend. Aliens versus Avengers. If you guys have not seen this, heard about it yet, this was so good. And it's a
Really.
It's a heavier read than I thought. Like the stakes are high, like immediately, and it's only going to be 4 issues. Like it's just a mini series.
Sign me up.
But it's Hickman, dude. It's Hickman, who's one of my favorites, and it's Esad Ribic on the artwork, who I absolutely love. You can't see it, but I have a Storm Esad Ribic. He was at TripCon 2 years ago, and I got to meet him. And he's just such a nice guy, and I love his artwork.
I didn't grab that this week. I was like, I gotta. There's so many books. Sometimes you gotta say no to books.
Draw the line. You might have to go back for this one, Eric. You might have to go back.
I might have. You
had me at Xenomorph.
Dude, it's epic. It's like it almost takes like place in the future too, or like time jumps a little bit. But stakes are real in that one. The last book that I have of my 5 that I'm going to recommend, and what I'm loving from this month, is this book right here. I already did a post about this earlier, but Namor issue number 2, and this is coming from a guy who I don't know jack about Namor. I really don't read much of Namor. I the movie, whatever. Like
such a dick, but I love it.
I never really had experience with him, and not for any other reason, but just like I've been busy reading other stuff. So, but this was fantastic. The reason I even gave it a shot is because it's Jason Aaron, who has done a ton like Thor and Southern Bastards from Image and all that other stuff. And I got to talk with him at Terrificon this past week or last week. But man, this was such a good issue, specifically issue number 2. I mean, if you're gonna get into it, I would start at 1. 1 was a little slow. It's clearly a setup, kind of issue. But this book right here kind of goes into it does flashback style of showing his past as a kid and coming up, because he's a prince at that time. So you assume like a prince and a prince's life is like, easy and whatever. But he like definitely goes against the grain, and especially with some of the younger characters he meets, like this girl here that you'll learn about in this story. But I was blown away by it, and no one's talking about this book.
No, I know. And he's such a complicated character. I mean, he's a mutant. So he's an outcast, even in his own, in Atlantis. But at the same time, he's a prince. So it's like they if they know better, they better listen to him, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, this kind of reveals a little bit of why he's, a jerk or uptight or stubborn, if you want to describe it that way.
I fell in love with Namor in the 80s with his late 80s, 90s series. And then like a couple of years ago, I got into super villain team up, they had superhero team up. Yep. They did a super villain team up, and it was him and Dr. Doom running around with their big giant egos, yelling at each other, who's better. And then they throw in Red Skull in there, and it's like, we got a common enemy, so let's beat him up. Great series. It's classic 70s art and writing, and it's just I love those complicated characters, because it's like there's times where he's been a villain, he's been a hero, somewhere in the between that he's got nothing else better to do, type of thing.
I'm starting to realize I think he's way underrated than what people view him as. Is just what I'm starting to pick up now. Like just, I'm sure a lot of reading to do, but anyways, definitely recommend this. Eric, do you want me to just show the other book that or do you want me to wait? Are you going to go back?
Yeah, go ahead. Show what's your top one that you got there?
Well, the Namor one was definitely the top.
Okay.
One, at least as far as the new stuff.
You got like old books, you said? What year?
Yeah, I have one set and then a book really that I got from Terrificon that some of you seen already, some of you haven't, but
show them real quick.
So these are the Robin Year One books. I had actually posted a little bit about them, but if you guys have never read this series, it's only 4 issues. If you ever read like Batman Year One, like that was one of the reasons I gave it a shot. And it was a channel I was on with my buddy Kavi and JP Collects from JP Budget Collecting. He has guests on and they break down certain issues, and we did this little mini series. And this was just a fantastic read. So Robin Year One, I wasn't even like a big Robin fan per se, but really good stuff. And it's Chuck Dixon and Scott Beatty on the as
Those
far
are
as the creators
interesting.
were. It was $10 too. I was like, yeah,
Wow.
definitely
That's awesome.
for that for sure. And then the other thing I'll show here. This is what I and Bruce, you were with me for this. So this is I just wanted to share. You mentioned we were at Terrificon. This was my big pickup that I got from Terrificon, and I didn't even show it on my recap video, which is so funny.
That's
I
what
go
the
back.
show's about.
I literally forgot to like show it off. I was like, oh yeah, well I guess I'll wait and show it off on someone else's channel. But this is the X-Men companion issue number 2 or volume 2, and I got it remarked here, as you can see. I had Claremont have draw like Snicket there, and he's there's like blood, and he signed it at the bottom there. Pull back a little bit.
That's badass.
I have
really cool.
I had no idea this existed, and my buddy Otto from 3 Men in a Basement, as I was walking up to his table, he goes, "Dude, I got you something. I found it." He was digging or hunting like a while back. He said he's had it for a little while, and he wanted to just give it to me as a gift. And he showed me like, and it's let me see if I find a great picture. It's like interviews from him, John. It's from like John Byrne, Chris Claremont, and there's some really great photos of them from back in the day.
Wow.
So there's the team, and I showed Chris this, and Chris was like,
"A lot of hair."
Yeah, Chris was like, "Oh, back when I had hair." Oh, I remember those days. Like, he was laughing at it. But there's like they have like sketches and just show little panels and stuff like that. Yeah. So this whole thing was just, I mean, it was really nice to Otto, and Otto give it to me. He's like, do what you want with it, whatever. And I was like, well, I'm literally walking with the guys right now to see Claremont, so I'm gonna have him do something to it. So
yeah,
sure enough, that was that's what I had him do. So yeah, just a lot of back and forth. I'm gonna post it later. I was trying to find this other. Oh, here he is. This is the Claremont picture there.
Wow. Wow, look at the tinted glasses.
Yeah, the hairy chest and everything. Like,
yeah.
Man, oh man, that's funny.
Popping out of the shirt. And some cool artwork on the back that's from
I like that. Yeah.
What's his name? Hembeck, who I'm not as familiar with. But anyways, this is not worth anything, but it's worth tons and tons and tons to me. So
yeah, it's worth to you. That's the cool thing about some of this stuff is it may not be anything special to somebody, but to you, it is gold. So
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
So there you go.
All right. So who is next? Bruce, Brandon.
Bruce,
what you got? What you got? Bruce? I know you're not a big modern book guy, but break the rules. My rules.
I wrote them all down.
Hey, there you go.
Nice.
All these books I'm gonna buy, so I can
sweet.
check them out.
Hell yeah, dude. Do it.
I thought they were all really interesting. So Thank you for that. You're always welcome. Love to learn new things. I'm not into modern because I don't even know where to start. And that's really...
It's daunting.
It's been daunting collecting comics because at first I had to find what I liked, right? So picking up Spider-Man and X-Men because I really like both. And then I got into some Batman that people had suggested to me that I didn't even know about. So that's just where I am. I can only go from here is to, learn new things and pick up new books. So anyways,
that's awesome.
So everything that I'm going to show is from what I got at Terrificon. I haven't really bought anything recent because, that trip was pretty expensive, but couple X-Men books. So I picked up this one, and this is nice issue number 98. Justin was right there with me when I picked it up.
Yeah, man.
Very nice copy. I got this for a steal, I thought. It just has something right there, but it's really clean.
Dude, the colors pop.
Yeah.
Look at those colors, man.
Yeah.
And even the insides. Remember, I know you took it out. We were looking at the splash page and everything, the Christmas holiday scene I was telling you about.
Yeah, that's technically a Christmas.
And who did we see that's in there that I was telling you about, Bruce? Who were the characters we saw in there? The extra characters.
So this is the splash page that Justin was talking about. Sorry, I'm going to try to be careful as I can. I really like that splash page. That splash page is awesome.
Dude, that's why I got into them there. Was just like the non-hero stuff, like them casually being in New York City.
The everyday type of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then right here, there he is. Stan the Man.
And Jack.
Yep. Sorry, the lighting is probably cutting it off.
Yeah, there's that mustache. You can't mistake that mustache.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was a really cool pickup from Terrificon.
It's a special book. Yeah.
Yeah, really happy to pick that one up. I've wanted that issue for a little while, and I just didn't like the price. And I thought for $40, I mean,
Yeah.
Thought that was a
The
good deal.
steal.
It's a great cover.
Absolute steal.
And then picked up 107 as well. X-Men 107.
Heck yes.
Starjammers.
First Starjammers.
Dude. Have you read that, Bruce?
I have not yet.
So when you get a chance, read that book, whether you want to open the physical, or I understand if you want to read it digitally just to not mess with the pages. Regardless, read that book, man, because that is an epic, one of the most epic stories I've ever read is in that issue. It's very underrated, and it's hard to find nice copies because most kids were ripping them open and reading them again and again and again because that's how good that story was.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. Gonna read it.
Yeah, man.
And then while we were there, we also stood in line together. Me, Ryan, Dan, and Justin.
Yep.
We all got Chris Claremont to sign our book. So
Ooh.
like
Beautiful.
blue signature right there.
Love that blue.
Yeah, Joe Rubenstein signed right here on
Killer.
the bottom. I thought that came out.
I couldn't pull the trigger last year when
That's
he was in
perfect.
town here. I had it with me, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And
Beautiful, Bruce.
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice copy. Yeah.
This is a newsstand copy that I purchased from Dan, and Dan was right there. So it just made it even more special just to have.
Because he still got 75 more copies of it.
Yeah.
Dan's making it rain.
It made it special because he sold it to me. He was there with me.
Was that the
when I
one
got
we were
it
trying to
done.
auction off in the room?
No, that was the direct copy that Troy ended up with. Troy was like, gave out a bet of like $60, and I'm like, here, man, here you go. And he's like, oh, I don't have $60 on me. I was like, just take it, dude. He ended up paying me, but like, I wasn't worried about it.
Nice.
And before I get into my favorite comic pickup of the con, I'll show off a little bit of my other hobbies that I'm into.
So that's the thing. We all have other hobbies: magic, Star Wars,
right? That's right.
Board games. Me, I also like motorcycles and cars, which are expensive. So, yeah, hobbies.
Yeah, so that's expensive. I mean, once you start dropping those.
Yeah.
So this little girl here is Sorceress from Masters of the Universe.
Oh, sick.
Wow.
And I've always wanted this figure. So I saw it at Terrificon and I had to pick it up. It comes with her weapon as well.
That's cool.
Nice.
That's the hard part right there, finding the staff and stuff.
Yes, yeah. That really makes the value right there.
Yeah.
She came out good. I cleaned her up. I gave her a bath and all the dirt came off of her.
Nice.
She had like, man, it's light.
So some smudge on her nose.
Yeah, she had something right there on her brow. It was like a burn mark or something, but it came off pretty well.
Probably some kids put him in the spoke of his bike and was riding around.
Yeah, probably.
Bruce, did you watch the Revelations? Was it Revelations? What was the He-Man cartoon that came
The
out on
Netflix one?
I didn't watch it. I watched.
Check that out. It was pretty good.
I watched the old ones, but I haven't checked that one out yet. But I definitely will now.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I picked that one up, and then also from the same vendor, I went back because I got the wrong size bags. I wanted to get some Mylar bags, and they didn't fit my books. So we were out to eat with the guys, and I was like, hey, I got to run. I got to return these sleeves because we're leaving tomorrow, or these bags because we're leaving tomorrow, and the con was going to shut down soon. So I ran back there real quick. Dan was nice enough to get my food ordered for me, and on the way to where I was going to return the comic book bags, I saw this.
Ooh,
oh, nice.
And that is Scareglow from Masters of the Universe.
Love it.
Sweet.
I saw it and I was like, I need to get this right now because
How quickly did you run into a dark room and close the door and look at him?
See that bad boy lit up.
As soon as I got home, I showed my son. I was like, Bo, come here.
Oh,
You got to see this. And he was all excited too. So it was
Nice.
awesome.
But you can't touch him. Just look through the case, bro.
Yeah.
You're right.
Enjoy it.
Rule number one.
Don't touch him. And Mike and Rohan were giving me crap, and it was
Gordon
funny.
Grow.
Yeah, they hit him on me. They put him in like the dresser, and oh, it was a good time.
Nice.
I had two of these. So I bought one before the con. It was just loose. It didn't have a cape. And I was excited about it, obviously. And then I saw this complete one at the show. And I was like, I can sell the other one. And as soon as I got back, it sold just like that.
Wow.
Cool. And made, I think, like 35 extra bucks on the sale. So, I mean, I'm good with that. So picked that one up. And then I'm really into Ninja Turtles. So vintage Ninja Turtles. Sweet. I picked up this carded card. Yeah, I picked up this Delta Team Dawn. He's really hard to find because of his accessories right here. He's got a lot of accessories.
Yeah.
There's like some leaves back here that go to him, and they're always really hard to find. So I figured for the price, I might as well just get a carded one. It's a pretty decent card.
Yeah. It looks nice from here, yeah.
I like the artwork and just the top of the plastic and everything too. Like
it's really cool.
What they used to, boys.
It's bright.
It's got that sticker right there. So
nice.
Collectors like KB. It's like KB toys.
KB.
Yeah,
is cool, Bruce.
Here is it? No, it's Toys R Us. Yeah,
Toys R Us. Okay.
Another classic.
Yeah, spent a lot of Saturdays at that place.
Yeah. So my final book that I wanted to show is finally got my 252.
Yes, I saw you post that, and I was like, man,
sick.
Yeah.
Nice newsy too.
Very clean copy. I recently posted this one on the CGC forum, and some guy said it was a 7.5, and I was like, I don't know. I think it's a little bit nicer than a.
Did you show Jeff at all? What did Jeff say?
I haven't showed Jeff.
Okay.
But I can definitely do that. I'm gonna have to send it to him anyways to give it a press, but because there's something on the back. I don't really want to take it out of the bag, but there's a non-color breaking crease that can come up pretty easily with a press. But the reason why I like this copy so much is because there was no spine ticks.
Oh wow, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very clean spine. So that was my big pickup from Terrificon.
That's a big one. That's very cool that you get that's a grail book for a lot of people right there. And I've looked at it a couple of times and I've never pulled that trigger. I mean, I like Spider-Man, but he's not like my main guy, but that's definitely a good book to get in the collection.
And when I bought this one, I also had another book in my hand. I forgot the issue number, but it's X-Men with the Doom. He's holding Storm.
Yeah, 147, 148.
Yeah. I had that one in my hand as well, and I asked him what the price was, and he was like, "You could take it, man, if you're gonna buy this."
Really?
Awesome.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's
really nice.
Yeah. So he just threw it in. So
it's a great issue too.
Work for me.
You just tell everybody that you made the epic deal.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You tell that story next time, and you say, "And I demanded this Doom cover as well." I said, "You throw that in, or I'm walking." That's what you tell the story.
Right.
Doom
and
said,
it was
"Don't
on
you know
Saturday,
me?"
So
Yeah.
I was just surprised that he was even willing to do that because it was on a Saturday. You know, the show was pretty busy that day. So
nice.
All right, Brandon, you're up next, man. What do you got?
All right. As I said, today was the first day. Like I had COVID last week and was just nursing it out of my system. And finally today, my whole family felt great. My young girls have been inside for like 6 days. Me and my wife hadn't left the house in 6 days. So we took them to the zoo up in Syracuse, New York. And then I knew that my favorite LCS, Funky Town Comics and Vinyl, was 10 minutes away. So I told my wife, like, I want to go pick up some new books. My buddy's having a show tonight, and I want to have some new books to get. So I picked them up, and I read them after the girls went to bed at 7, and I blasted through them. And I'm so glad I picked them up. So I got some modern books to show, and then I got some quick Terrificon pickups to show. And I went with Justin. I went with the signed books that I'll show off. But first book I picked up was The Deviant, #1.
Ooh,
I don't know if you guys have heard of this.
I've been reading that. It's wow.
You read it? Did you read it?
I did.
Yeah, it's
I did. And it's a Christmas story by James Tinian. Anything from Tinian, I've been way into his universe lately. Anything he writes, I love. And Joshua Hickson with Hassan Otsmane Alhau. I hope I don't murder that. But it is about a serial killer. But I mean, more it's about a gay comic book writer. and he's interviewing the guy that was charged with these horrific murders in 1973 of these boys that he assaulted, then murdered and strung up like a Christmas tree, basically.
Yeah.
And it's this whole battle with like the people he's interviewing now are very, there's some bigots and stuff that he's interviewing, and it's him just trying to write a story and it's really good representation story. And then I picked up the Deviant 2 with a 1 in 100. They had this in the shop too. Haunting cover. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I blasted through this, and there's a twist at the end of this one.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, like I love a good twist. I love, Tinian's monster stories are great, but this is, serial killer is also a monster too.
Mhm.
So I thought this was beautifully written, really well done. I'm invested in the characters. I love the art. It is dark and it is scary. And I was really glad I picked these up. So now I'll be looking online where I can order these because, I can't it was 45 minutes away. I just happened to be in that area. So the Deviant 1 and 2 was a very, very good pickup. I was so glad I picked these up. I knew I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah.
What's a good website where we could shop all these books, these newer books?
If you can't get to like a local, like a comic shop,
My
that's a good
comic shop?
question. Yeah, probably mycomicshop.com is like pretty safe. I mean, it's pretty standard.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, Bruce. I use them. I've had friends use them for modern books too, and it's fine.
Here's one that you need to find, Brandon. I've been getting the variant covers for that too because my wife absolutely loves this one.
Snow globe.
This was a cutout. So that cutout is the snow globe. So it actually, they open it up and it's a full image of him in like a forest and stuff. It's like sick.
Yeah,
what issue is that? What number is that?
That's number 1.
Oh, that's
so
one.
a variant cover. Yeah,
I need that too.
I think they're on like 5 or 6 right now for that.
Yeah,
story.
I just need to go online and order up to them and then be caught up.
Yeah, they're on 7. Number 8 should be coming out soon. That's the last issue. So
I'm glad you guys have heard it and are reading it too. That's crazy.
It's awesome.
Well, one more thing to add with that, if you guys, as far as buying things go, and Bruce, to your question, if you can, I mean, I'm just a big fan of always trying to support like the local shops. If you can make a connection or relationship with a shop, even if you don't live close to them, but you say like, "Hey, I've been there before," and I'd love to buy the rest. Can you
I bet they ship them to me. I don't know what I'm doing. I bet they would.
Yeah,
because I'm friends with them. I feature them on Free Comic Book Day. They're great guys.
You talk about them. Yeah.
So I'm sure that they would ship them to me.
Most
of
them.
Good call, Justin. On that one.
Yeah. Before you,
Sticking with the horror, the next 2 books, as soon as these came out, people were like messaging me. They're like, "Have you got these yet?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." But epitaphs.
Oh, those
Oh, sick.
covers are awesome.
So EC came back out with some awesome. These are just like the old ones. There's like 4 short horror stories with great twists. The art in some of them leaves something to be desired, but sometimes it's banger. Sometimes it's off the wall great, and I love it. So I ripped through this. I love the stories. They're very relevant. There's political stories. There's stories that talk about vaccinations. There's very stuff in the zeitgeist right now, and I really liked that it was like a modern, EC horror stories.
And it's different artists, right? And
yes,
writers
different artists.
Different,
exactly.
Cool.
So that's a great one with the people under the bed and the murderers right there. And then I picked up issue 2 and blasted through that. And it's got a great
clown one. Yes, it is.
Clown one, with the kids. There's zombies. But I love this one. There was such a touching one. Like it started with like the zombie staring at a food shelf. And then like it talks like, "How long have you been standing here?" And it shows her looking at baby food. And then it like flashes back to like her with her child and stuff.
Oh,
and she ends up getting bit by a zombie, and she goes to the store because her subconscious tells her that she was going to get baby food when this happened. And then this mother and daughter show up and shoot her, and it's just freaking sad. It's like, that's
heavy
shit. Yeah. So I was very happy. Those are my modern pickups. So
nice. Well
Epitaph from the Abyss and the Deviant. I'm all in on these now for sure.
Cool.
Now, Terrificon, we all had a blast there. I bought some stuff, but I'll go with the sign stuff.
I bought some stuff.
I think it was Thing Comics. I think you're right there.
Bigney McFly, the comic guy, since I was into Something Is Killing the Children, had told me about the slaughter packs that came out, where they had, reprinted 5 stories over 4 packs. So there's 20 reprints. and they were all beautiful Virgin variant covers by the great David Mack. And I saw him at Terrificon.
Those look so good.
And they are just gorgeous. I only brought out one to show, number 1. And I like this because now I have the first 10 issues. I don't care if they're reprints because they're beautiful Virgin variant covers signed by him. I had him sign all 10.
You had all 10. Oh, that's such a good idea.
I was like, do you mind signing all 10? He's like, no, dude, I don't care. And he was really cool about it. And they're just beautiful. I mean, this was the complete package. I mean, wonderful story inside, beautiful art on the outside.
I am so excited that you're getting into that series, Brandon.
Yeah, dude.
Because that's my wife's favorite. That was kind of her gateway into comics. She loves the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
And Boom did a Kickstarter for Tinian of like his projects. He's like collector kind of art books and stuff like that. And they had add-ons. You have something coming soon, sir.
Me?
Yes, keep that in mind.
Son of a
little
bitch.
surprise for you.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. You didn't do that, but anyway, so I got him to sign those. That was a highlight, and then I did see Mr. Claremont too. Listen, I love the X-Men. I respect the X-Men, their history, what they do, what they represent, what they did for being the outcasts of society. But I had him sign something.
Bub.
I had him sign something that wasn't X-Men. He wrote Aliens and Predators: The Deadliest.
Oh, nice.
That's an awesome pickup.
Nice, great
not
idea.
A lot of people realize that he did other things other than the X-Men. Like I had him sign.
I had no idea.
Daredevil and Black Widow. People forgot that's where he kind of started.
Yeah, dude. Hagen from Lettuce Comics gifted this to me because he's like, dude, it's got it all. It's got Topless Women, a story by Claremont, and Predators.
Aliens and Predators.
And this is a great, Claremont really had a lot to say because he thought it was interesting because it features a female Predator and a female human
which
protagonist.
Is cool.
Which is very cool. Very cyberpunk, very cool story. I got to get the rest to read them. I did read this, but I had him sign this. And, I used the line jump pass that I had for VIP, but I didn't abuse it. I used it for him and Scotty Young, but I only had one book for Claremont to sign, and I had 2 books for Scotty.
Smart.
I wasn't the guy with the short box. It was like, sorry, I was responsible with it. So
nice.
I had Claremont sign that, and then Jim Starlin, I'm a boy Man Thing.
Oh,
he did this cover. I really liked how he drew Man Thing in this, and it was funny. He was talking to me. He said Marie Severin. They didn't like the face on the guy, so Marie Severin redrew the face on the guy.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, that's sweet. He's like, yep, but I did the rest of it. And I was really surprised when I went up to him. There was no line. Like, it was Friday. It was early in the day, though, still. But I was like, I'm going to walk up to Jim Starlin and have him, okay.
Not have to wait.
Yeah, right.
It used to be when Endgame came out and everybody had their Thanos gauntlet to get signed, he had lines. But yeah, it kind of, I've noticed it died down a little bit.
He did have more Saturday, I was like,
yeah.
I was happy to see that. But
Nice.
and it was like $5 a signature. I was like, here's 10, dude. Like,
Now, is that cover technically girl in a red dress, the hippie with the red vest?
It's close. They have done a lot of girls in red dress on Man Thing covers, but I had I have every run of Man Thing, so I was like, I might as well get that signed by him, little feather in the cap.
Heck yeah.
And if I'm going to show one, one of my happiest pickups was definitely Silver.
There it is.
Big book.
Bang.
So I'm going to do Very Gary. Everyone knows that Very Gary went through some health shit.
Yeah.
After that show.
Yeah.
We collapsed the lung and stuff. So after I got out of the Keanu signing on Friday, I went to the con. I was like, just almost like hallucinating. Like I was hungry. I was sleep deprived. I'd been standing for 8 hours, but I'm like, I want to buy this book. I want this book. And Very Gary's booth was one of the first ones. And I walked up to him. I was like, Gary, do you have, Silver Surfer 4 and a 5.0? He's like, yeah, I do actually.
Damn.
Wow.
He's like, I think I got another one too. And he had a 2.0. And I was like, no, I really want the 5.0. And he gave me a great price on it. And he was really cool. Like I told him, I commented in his video, I'm like, dude, your autopilot is like on point because you were great to me. You took a picture with me. He was awesome. So shout out to Gary. I hope he's feeling better.
Yeah.
But after I bought it, I was walking away with it. And I'm like, I knew the story. I knew the creative team. Like I didn't need to look at much on the label. But then it said John Buscema written in pen on first page.
Oh.
So I'm going to put out a video soon. And the title of the video is going to be called I recently got this slab. Let's crack it, and I'm gonna crack it in a video.
Sick! And then show it.
Just show it to see, and I'm gonna compare. I'm gonna have some pictures of the Buscema autographs to compare, and then the game is to send it to CBCS. I am voting with my dollar from now on.
Whoa!
Here's the point: if we're just
Hit the bell,
if I just
We're dropping bombs here tonight. I didn't know.
if I'm just looking to make sure that the signature is authentic, and both companies can do that, I don't want to go with CGC with all this bull that's going on.
Yeah,
like, I'd rather give CBCS a shot because it's not going anywhere. It's staying with me, and I just need someone to tell me that it's John Buscema's actual autograph. So CBCS can pull that off, and I'm going to do a comparison. I'll see what it comes back in as in a gray. Like, I don't care if it drops or goes up; it does not matter to me. It's the point of seeing if that's John Buscema's autograph. So I stare at this a lot now. This is just like in the Silver Age.
A quick question: when you saw that, it was already after you purchased it,
after I purchased it.
Okay, cool. So you were like walking away, and then you
I got back to my room, and I was like looking at the
that didn't wake you up.
John Buscema written on first. And I felt that. Like, did Gary know that? So very, very pumped. Those are my books. Fellas.
Cool, man.
All right,
I like the idea too. What you're gonna do?
Man,
why not?
Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I love his stuff on Conan. That'd blow my mind if I found that out. All right, so I downgraded my piles a couple times. I have 2 piles. I have new releases, quest finds. The new releases are the tough ones for me, guys. But I'm gonna curious what if there's a lot, I'm gonna just buzz through them real quick. I don't want to bore anybody, but I got these as dated. I tried to pick one per week for new issues, and first one here. This is from 8/7, so the beginning of the month. I have to go with this one. Uncanny X-Men #1. This was a variant. It's a U variant, the 1 in 25. I really like this style.
He's awesome.
It's kind of gritty looking. So I got when these #1s came out. Now with the old stuff, I was getting every variant cover, and it got to a point that I was like, okay, I got to slim back. I'm just buying covers.
Right
now with the new stuff to relaunch, I was like, I'm gonna stick to a cover, and then I'll get one of the variants.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah, and even from then, I've tapered off even more. Where like some of the #2s and #3s, I just got the A cover, and
same.
I'm okay with that. So that was my first new pick that I was excited about. Now the second week in the month, I'm not a huge DC guy, but I'm starting to dip my toe into it, and I totally missed this original storyline, but it's DC versus vampires, and this was a variant cover.
Dude, that's a great series, man.
Yeah, this is #1 for their kind of expanding the Elseworlds storylines, and this was with the vampires. But this foil, there we go, is awesome with Batgirl.
Yeah. Was that Tom Taylor also? I think
this is I don't know how you say this. Peach
Momoko.
It's not Peach.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an artist that's from Japan, and I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not even going to try.
But the writer is the writer's name on there or not on the variant?
It does not say on here. Oh wait, yeah, it does.
I thought it was Tom Taylor, but could be wrong.
Right there at the bottom. There we go. Almost had
James
it.
Tynan?
I just want to hear. You know what I can do?
Is it James Tynan?
There's one of the other variants. Rosenberg.
Oh, I don't think that's them. Or I don't know if that's
a sick cover though.
Yeah, isn't that cool? A vampire Wonder Woman? Heck yeah. If I saw this, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm fucked.
Don't change my perception of Wonder Woman. That's just a vampire.
Now this week I did have a tie because they did do another Elseworld title. And I've been picking it up, and I was kind of lukewarm about it, but it's Gotham by Gaslight. They're kind of expanding that Victorian age. This issue blew me away because they introduced Wonder Woman into the world. And I was like, oh, my God, this is a cool adaptation of her in this world. This is, let's see, which issue is this? This is #3 of the Gaslight Kryptonian age. Very cool issue. Kind of goes into her backstory in this. And I mean, Batman's in there and Catwoman and all that stuff. So very cool one that I was excited about. And then let's see. Well, I got a mess here. I messed up stuff. 821. This was my favorite release for that. And I am all out of focus, guys. Let's see if I
There's
can.
that. There's that red band.
This is a red band.
Is that the 1 in 25?
Wolverine Revenge. It is the 1 in 25.
So are those brutal inside or what?
Yeah, well, they're bloodier. Some of the artwork's a little bit bloodier.
It's worth it. This book is worth it.
I definitely like the Tales of the Crypt, Haunt of Fears, EC style layout on them.
Yeah, I got this one just because it's kind of a retro cover,
Oh yeah,
old horror.
Yep.
So there it goes.
Nice.
Man, that took forever.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. You see Sabretooth down at the bottom there, and I kind of splurged on that one. I mean, the store only got 2 of them in, and they asked if I wanted one. I was like, and then I forgot about it, and then like 10 o'clock the Wednesday, I was like, do you still got one? And they said, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll pull the trigger. But from that week, I did have also that one.
Oh, nice. You picked it up
real quick. I am a Namor fan. I love Namor.
Yes. Did you read that yet? Or
this one I have not read. Okay. I flipped through it real quick. But
we'll have to catch up later.
Yeah, I am so behind.
Yeah,
dude. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, me too. I have a bunch still.
And
let me know when you read it.
The last week, so it was the last week of new releases. I have another tie. I'm so bad. I'm breaking my rules. After the last series that Image did with their Universal Monsters, the creature from Black Lagoon, loved it. I had to jump on Frankenstein.
Yeah,
now, what they're doing with these stories in each issue is so fascinating to me that they're like supposed to focus on a different part of his body and tell a story of like basically where that body part came from.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh wow, that's so
genius.
Cool. Yeah. And I mean, the cover for the next issue, it's like what the doctor holding the brain and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I got to read this. So,
dude, I love that cover right there, man.
Yeah,
that cover
this is the
like
A cover.
Beautiful.
So, and I'm like,
you guys,
that's fine. I'm fine with the A cover.
Write it down, Brandon. Write it
I'm
down.
on it.
Now, okay, so here's the tie. I wasn't going to get this, but when I saw it in person, I was like, oh, that's really nice. This is a reprint. And I couldn't pass it up because partly I know what the original goes for, and I just want to read it and enjoy it. I have to focus out for this one.
Oh,
a
yes.
reprint of the meeting of Superman and Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
And I was just like, yeah, I have to have this. Look at the artwork. I mean,
it's got all the faces.
Yeah, it's
Adam's goodness
down there, and and then this is a wraparound. So there's like more people in the audience on the backside. So
the
that
original's like $150. Like, they're expensive.
This cost me $15.
Yeah, same. I was like, I'll take the reprint all day.
I'll take that all day. I mean, I just want to read it and enjoy it.
Yes, yeah.
And then
plays well too.
My number one pick for new releases last month is, and you showed one of these, Brandon or Justin. It's an NYX number 2 variant. This is Maria Wolf. I am falling in love with her stuff. I met her at Fan Expo, and she signed my Dr. Doom number 1 book. And I wish I had the Storm one, but this is just
her style is so different.
Yeah. I like how it's kind of organic almost. It reminds me of some of those old artists from the 80s that were very organic in their, almost grotesque art in a way.
Yep.
So that was my number 1.
Awesome.
And then let's go to the pile of my quest, which I also had to slim down. I'll go through these real quick. Brandon, I think you're going to like some of these picks.
Bring them on,
This is partly why I want to have you come on here, because we have similar tastes when it comes to comics. So I'm going to start with this one. This is Dragon Ring. Came out in 86. It is part of, what is the name of this company? Arcel? I always screw it up. But this was a independent comic company in the mid-80s. I know of these guys because of this title. I love this series. If you guys can find this, you like kind of anime, black and white, it's classic 80s independent. It's got kind of that sci-fi feel to it. I see these in bargain bins all the time. This was the only one I had to pay money for. The rest of them are discount all day. Very cool series to check out. So yeah, when I saw the Dragon Ring, I'm like, oh, I want to check this one out too.
Nice.
Now this one, I got to pop this open. I have been looking for this next book forever. I found this at Fan Expo. I only have a second printing, and it's this one. It's nostalgia for me. This is the first spoof of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. And I love this artwork. I mean, I don't know what it is about this artwork, but it's just classic 80s also.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
You know, with all the line work.
Oh, yeah.
The dealer that had these, I ended up getting like 1 through 3, I think it was, because it's a 9-issue series. So I had a couple, but I was looking for a first print because I used to have this when I was a kid. I don't know what happened to it. Now I was comparing the 3 copies they had, and I won in the lottery. So that right there is the artist, and then it also is signed by the writer.
No way.
Wow.
They both signed the inside. That's so great.
I paid a couple bucks for this.
Oh,
it was
man.
like a 5 for $20 or something like that, and I bought a big stack.
The vendor never opened their book.
He didn't care. He's like, oh yeah, I got a long box of those at home. He didn't care. He wanted to get rid of it. So
Sure. That's great.
Awesome. So yeah, that was very cool. That's probably the first time I've won that lottery.
That's a good lottery to win.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's really. I don't even know if they work anymore in the industry, but it's cool for me as personal cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so this next one, my wife is probably not going to let me live this down, and I will admit I got this as a goof. You guys can laugh at me, but I couldn't pass it up. I had to get this.
Nice.
This is Female Force #2, starring Taylor Swift. And of course, this was like one of many variant covers, but of course I had to get the Dazzler cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife, she loved when she saw this when I came home.
There you go.
I tease her because she listens to Tay Tay. I got to get this. I got to get it.
You tell her, he's like, I was thinking of you, babe. You know,
hey, man, Taylor, pop has persisted throughout the years, whether it's, Madonna, Backstreet Boys and Kids on the Block, name anyone, but T Swift, she's made her mark, and
big time.
I could see my daughters listen to that pretty soon.
Yep. All right, so I gotta shake that one off a little bit. Now this next one I also got at Fan Expos. I was just kind of checking out on the way out some different books, and it's one of those I just reached down, started thumbing through. And I found this beauty. Here you go, Brandon.
Nice.
Weird Mystery Tales. I've been looking for this one for a while, number 21 with Bernie Wrightson. I love his version of werewolves. And he has a graphic novel. He did a Frankenstein that's just mind-blowing with the detail. This was top on my list, and I finally found it. I was ecstatic. I didn't even look at the price. I just told the guy I want this, and threw some money at him basically. So that was a big.
Can't go wrong with Wrightson.
Nice clean copy. Looks like.
Yeah, it is really nice. I opened it up and it has that old day smell.
Yeah.
And so in the last one I have here before my top pick is I've been getting into magazines, particularly 70s horror magazines like Dracula Lives, Tales of the Zombie. Creepy, eerie, all that stuff. This one I saw months ago, and I think I might have mentioned it in a video, and I kicked myself for not getting it, but I found another copy. I absolutely love this cover. This is
I've never seen that.
Screen number 2 from 73. But I mean, look at how grotesque and creepy.
It has a 70s pulp feel to it.
It does. Yeah.
And just the name of the villain, Lady Satan.
Yeah.
How could I say no to that? Ever since I saw this that first time, I was like, I gotta find that again. And I can't believe I found it. And then look at the back. Even the back has got this fantastic classic artwork. All that line work. The colors very basic. Kind of. This is like a one color. Probably a 50% too. Printing process. It was such a different landscape when it came to comics back then that they were pushing the envelope, and giving us what basically we have now.
Yeah.
But it was before the computer age, so a lot of it was hand done. And I just think that's cool, the craftsmanship that went into stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I am twisted too, so of course I like that.
Right at home.
Now, my number one quest find for the month, and I did just mention this one. I found this in a half-priced books. I found Essential Tomb of the Zombie. So it's the whole entire series. What is it? It's like 1 through 10. I think it has a couple like little appearances in here. What's this right in the cover? 1 through 10. It's got Dracula Lives 1 and 2. And then it lists all the different creators that worked on the series at that time. Look at those names.
Yeah, those are some big ones. Yeah, Claremont's
there.
Now, and I didn't realize. I looked this up. Half-price books. It was $30. That may seem a lot, but when I looked up what this was going for online, I was like, "Holy cow!" I think it goes over $100 because it's been out of print since like 2006.
Oh wow!
So
a lot of those, if they go out of print, it's like
and these essentials are all black and white, but you know what? This original was black and white, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not missing anything.
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, just buying that probably saved me a lot of money.
That is sick.
I'm probably still gonna go find the originals because
I'm
OCD
down that rabbit hole. Yeah,
quest never ends.
That was my big one.
Collecting.
I mean, look at this artwork. I think that's Boris Vallejo.
Okay, what issue is that? Because Los from Los's Comic Journey gifted me the Marvel Zombies, and it's a homage to that cover.
Let me see. I'll look it up real quick. That one is Tales. I use that CLZ app a lot. Let's see. Tales. Nope. Tales of the Zombie. That is number series. That's number 1, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's number 1. I thought it was. Yeah, that's sick.
So, yeah, that's
sick.
The artwork from like those old horror magazines, the covers, I think what it is about them is that they were done by a lot of those classic illustrators that are known for fantasy. Your Boris Vallejo, your Fred Zitas. I'm trying to think of some of the other.
John Buscema, he did Savage Tales 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I don't think those guys got a lot of credit. A little bit in the 80s, they got some, I remember kind of the fanfare in the 80s for those guys. And I think some of that's because they started doing like heavy metal, album covers like Iron Maiden and all that stuff, where it just blew people's minds, So I think they are they don't get their due, really, as I feel. Let me switch this to here. All right. Well, guys, that was our books. Thank you for coming on and just talking comics and playing a game that I've been wanting to play for months and months and
fun.
You were so good. You were so good at this, Eric. You're such a good host. Like,
yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Make me blush.
To know that you were like messaging me on Instagram, being like, "I think I want to start a channel," and I was like, "Do it, dude." And now to like see what you've done, I'm like, "Oh my god."
Well, if you guys are actually into tabletop gaming, I'll give myself a plug there. Indie Invasion is my other thing that I do, which is basically it's a video cast where we just chit chat about independent gaming, mostly miniature games. So if you guys know Warhammer, we talk about stuff like that, but independent. So it's the small guys. We like supporting the small guys that have an idea and a dream, and they go out there and try to make it work.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. But I do appreciate that, Brandon. Little known fact.
True.
When I was in college, I was in radio broadcasting. Didn't happen. So I guess the skills still work a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Natural.
But thank you for coming on and showing books. I'm super happy that you guys had fun with that game. Totally not rigged. I was not expecting to get those two guys pulled.
Yeah.
I mean, I did put some characters in there that I thought you guys were into, like Justin. I don't know if you noticed, I put Flash in there.
I heard Flash
for a certain reason.
Yeah.
Little nod to
my father. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I put that in there. Yeah. And I tried to give a little bit of variety. Like I tried to sway it with my picks a little bit, just to give a little bit of variety if we needed it. But of course, I'm going to go with my boy Logan and Magneto. But sadly, they did not get picked, probably because they would win.
You should carry them over. You should say, like, the next time you play the game, like, these are people I'm going to pick 2 that didn't get picked and put them in just for fun.
That's a good idea.
I think I'm going to carry some of those over, and then, like, depending on who comes on, if you guys repeat, maybe I'll add some new ones, keep some of the old ones, just to give it variety. And who knows what we'll get? Maybe we'll get Taylor Swift as Dazzler versus somebody. I don't know.
Love
Kitty Pride.
Kitty Pride. Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Kitty Pride all day.
Yes.
Right?
Take her down into the ground, Kitty. Just let go.
As long as it's not Jubilee, right?
Okay, I did change my shirt so I can gripe about her. Yeah, no. Yeah, I came up. I sometimes say that's why I quit buying comics in the 90s.
Oh, back to that.
I can't be that mean. All right, so let me go to this. You guys want to promote? Let's do this. Let's go around, promote anything you guys got going on. Promote your channel so people can know where to find you. You guys are watching, if you're watching live or later, go to these guys' channels, like, subscribe, all that stuff. These are fine gentlemen in the community that I've become friends with, that have encouraged me. All you guys kind of inspire me to keep doing this stuff. It's a lot of hard work, as you guys know, to do this. So when you get support from friends in the community, it goes a long way. So yeah, Brandon, tell everybody where they can go to find some of your stuff.
Okay, so simple. YouTube and Instagram are the same, Mon Comics. That's that easy to find me. What I got coming up, I've just dropped my Terrificon Day 2. My final day will come out this week. And then I'm going to go into some other videos of I have an independent creator that reached out to me that I want to highlight, and then also cracking that slab. But then on September 20th, I have that month's Big 5 Live, in which Justin is going to be a guest. And it's actually a Terrificon reunion. I've got Justin, I've got Cliff on comics, and I've got Noah of Broke Boy Comics.
Yeah, all right, Noah. Nice.
So it's going to be a really fun Terrificon reunion coming on the 20th. And I'm going to do a shameless plug. Somehow I was a finalist in 2 categories for the CBC Awards for favorite channel in 1 to 5K tier, and best unboxing video or series in the same tier. I am grateful. I'm honored. I see K-Pop is in the chat, and Cliff too. Wonderful people that I already voted for. If anyone thinks I'm worthy of their vote, it would mean I've already won. I've already won.
Yeah,
I've already
the rest
won.
is gravy. Yeah.
Being recognized, like we all do this, right? Like we all put our blood, sweat, and tears and passion into this.
Yeah.
So to get a little feather in the cap like that is enough. But if anyone thinks I'm worthy and wants to vote for me, I'd appreciate it. So
go vote.
So that's what I got coming up, and I can't wait to keep hanging out with folks like you guys on live streams.
Cool. All right, Justin, when is Omni New Mutants starting?
Yeah. So I actually just had a call with John today, and we were discussing. So Omni X-Men is going to be back October 8th. That's going to be the second Tuesday of October. For those who don't know, Omni X-Men, we take an omnibus. Do I have one near me right now? I don't. I usually do. They're all over there right now. We take an omnibus from Claremont, and we break down every issue 1 episode at a time. We've been doing it for 4 years now, going on 5 years. So we did the first 4 volumes of the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men of Chris Claremont, John Byrne, and all that goodness. And then now we're jumping over to New Mutants that Claremont also wrote, and of course Bob McLeod and Bill Sienkiewicz. So we're going to switch it up a little bit this season, and we're going to have different guests on. I'll be reaching out to some of you. We already have some people on the list. We have a bunch of what I call regulars, the core group that's been there since day one. We always make sure that they get a spot as well. But we want to have more newer guests on as well that have just been starting to join the show. So that goes all the fall, December, all the way through to the summertime. So we're going to try to wrap wrap it up by June as we usually do. So it's a lot of fun. We do trivia. We give away really cool artwork and stuff at the end of it if you get your name entered. We do trivia based on the last episode, the last issue. So if you're looking to get into New Mutants and you never read it, I've never read it. So this is my first time.
Wow.
You would not be alone. I'm going in, blind. I read 2 issues when I first got the Omni, but other than that, I haven't read anything.
That's one of the things I like about this show when I discovered you guys doing that is that different perspective on them, because I read them but like so long ago, so it was kind of refreshing and relearning, and then hearing like not just you guys but like the comments in the live stream of people bouncing those ideas. Oh, hey, this or that is stuff that I've never thought of in the story, and it's like, holy cow, I never saw that. Right. So it's really cool how you guys dive in that stuff and kind of dissect it a little bit. Very cool.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Yeah, so we'll kick it off soon. But other than that, I got nothing really going on. I got a couple videos coming out, some local stuff, and just having fun. Football season's upon us, boys. So Sundays. This is the last Sunday you're gonna see me on YouTube for a long time. I disappear on Sundays. So you're trying to reach out. Yeah, I'm a Raven. I'm Baltimore Ravens, baby. Got it.
Son
right
of
here.
a bitch. I'm out of here.
There you go.
I'm a Steelers fan.
Sorry,
Justin.
bro. I had a feeling, dude. I had a feeling. I didn't want to bring it up, man. I didn't want to bring it up.
So September 20th, I'll be having Eric on my show in place of Justin.
You're gonna boot me up.
No, it's all good, man. It's nothing but love. Dude. Nothing but love. Best rivalry in football.
It is the best. It is the best. Yeah, man. We'll have to talk some more football.
Yeah, we'll chat it out.
For sure.
All right, Bruce, what do you got coming?
I'm taking a little bit of a break from YouTube, but you could always follow me on Instagram at Up North Comics, and then also I sell toys on my other page, and you can find me there at Fets Vet Toys.
Nice.
Cool.
I've been getting back into buying and selling toys. So
yeah, it seems like when you were showing a lot of toys, I was like, is he regressing a little bit?
Yeah, I kind of I don't know. I'm following my passion, and I really like toys.
That's what you do, right? The hobbies are supposed to be fun, and
so I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from comics, but I got a great list of books that I'm gonna be checking out.
There we go. That's
and ones that won't break the bank because they're all newer. It's not like you're going after like a PSX one.
Buying expensive books all the time, it's hard to keep up with. So
Bruce, you also have a surprise coming. You sent me stickers. Yes. I haven't sent you stickers back yet because I was looking something. Let's see if I can give you a little bit of hint.
The glare.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw a letter. I think I saw a hand.
I'm supporting, since like you said, you're kind of cutting back a little bit. Well, I'm going to be the pusher man, and I'm going to send you stuff to read. So
I enjoy reading. It's just, to buy the expensive books all the time. It's a little, Terrificon was kind of my send off for that.
Yeah.
But I want to start getting into modern a little bit and just like reading good books. So anytime somebody can suggest something to me, I'm always going to write it down.
And you know what? One of the things that like I like to do when it comes to, because I'm conscious of spending a lot of money on the comics too, and I think that's one of the reasons why I originally got out of it is the money. But there are, like Mike has taught me this, there are so many places you can go to get cheap books, whether it's discount bins, dollar bins. I mean, I'll dive in dollar bins all day. I don't care if the covers are barely hanging on. If I can read it, I can still enjoy it, and I'm okay with that. And I think a lot of people do get hung up on that. I got to get nice, crisp, and clean. I got to get you collect how you want, but there are options out there. So explore those options, man. So
I would say too, as far as just reading goes, I mean, I hear a ton of people talk about their local libraries. There's a lot of apps that go along with. If you're trying to read the trade paperbacks are cheap already. You usually, like, a lot of shops will sell them $5 to $10, and then there's a lot of like library type of aspects of it too. If you're just trying to get into the stories or whatever, it's another good way to go about it.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, you guys, we're going to sign out here. Don't go away, you guys, because I want to say some hello or goodbyes before you guys take off. But guys, I'm going to have links to everybody here down in the show notes so you can quickly click on them, find them right away. You don't have to get on there and do some interweb searching and stuff. But thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Please, once again, a reminder, please smash the button to not just me, to all these guys. Subscribe, comment down below. What was your favorite pickup from us? I mean, Bruce started a list. I hope you guys are starting a list. Thing Comics, sorry, because I know he always comes on and he's like, man, I got to get that book now. But also check me out on Instagram. Drop me a line if you have questions or suggestions at gmail.com. Once again, all these places are in links down below. But as I always say, until next time, okay, I got to press some buttons here. It's hard to do when you're by yourself. There it is. Until next time, guys, and you're out there looking for new stuff on Wednesdays or just questing, happy questing, and we'll see you next time, guys.